welcome to the Mortgage Minute for Thursday, September 20th. Once again, we got lots of headlines about whether the BC housing market is booming, busting, or if there's a bubble about to burst, and contradicting headlines. Here's one that says BC will lead house sales for the next decade. So basically, you're saying BC's everything's fine. Well, actually, if you dig deeper, it's comments by Benjamin Tall says, it turns out fears of a long-term sharp downturn in the housing market are highly exaggerated and very premature, said Benjamin Tall. In fact, demographic forces will be supportive to real estate markets in the coming decade, and he said most of that growth in population now is due to immigration. So look for another wave of immigration supporting the overinflated Vancouver housing prices. But in the meantime, we have headlines like this saying the August chill, basically saying that Vancouver in particular, July changes to mortgage rules cooled the housing market, leaving some of the first-time buyers in the hole cold. What I find amazing, and then here, BC slowdown signals wider slump. I find it amazing that a slowdown in housing purchases, of course, leads to a slight dip in the pricing. And it's always reported, the headlines make it sound like it's a bad thing. And I would question, well, geez, if I'm a first-time home buyer, isn't a softening of the market, isn't a bit of a slowdown a good thing if I'm a young family trying to get into this market? If I'm looking to buy something, I don't want to hear and read headlines that prices are going up 10% every month. And again, very, very predictable. August, we're on holidays to begin with. August is always a slow month, but combine that with the retreat of the Chinese buyers that we had the year before, combine that with the fact that Jim Flaherty came out with new mortgage rules at the beginning of the summer. Is it any shock that come September, we're reading about August dip in sales and prices? In the meantime, today, housing correction underway in Canada, but soft landing is likely by says banks. Okay, so again here today, the Globe and Mail, Scotia CEO expects a soft landing for housing. So my question to you is, what is defined as a soft landing? And what does that mean? When they say soft landing, what they're saying, it's not a bubble that's going to burst, because again, look for high unemployment plus high interest rates. Those are the preconditions that would create a bubble bursting environment. Well, we don't see that either of those are likely to happen soon, but we do see that specifically in markets like Vancouver and Toronto, there's no doubt that prices are inflated, and a softening is a good thing. What does softening mean? My guess is anywhere from 5 to 10% correction, meaning prices will come down and soften by about 5 to 10%. Meanwhile, we've talked about mortgage rules that changed Jim Flaherty's, but what a lot of people don't realize is OSFI, which is the Office of Superintendent of Financial Institutions. It's a big mouthful, that's why you never hear people talking about it on the radio or in the newspapers, but they've actually got a whole set of guidelines that are geared towards the federally regulated banks, most important of which is looking to cut back HELOCs. You can only get a HELOC, home equity line of credit, up to 65% with the charter banks. I'm going to include an article I wrote on this that was published in the Tri-City News, and that will be included in this Mortgage Minute as an attachment. Look down below this video for that. But one of the things that's really important, quick tip for a lot of people, you might hear more and more about this OSFI, federally regulated banking rules and changes that are supposed to take effect October 31st. Quick local tip, credit unions are governed provincially, not federally. So therefore, credit unions do not have to impose the same rules that are going to be imposed upon federally chartered banks. As such, you might find an increase in marketing and advertising from your local credit union about some of their home equity line of credit options that their federally chartered banks cannot compete with. So look for a surge in credit union business over the next few months here as the OSFI rules take effect on banks. Anyways, folks, that's the Mortgage Minute for Thursday, September 20th. Lots on the go, lots to talk about, so we'll see you again in a couple weeks. Thanks and bye for now.